And hello and welcome to Open, the show opening the Bronx and the rest of the world right to you. I am Darren Hyman. Today we'll update you on what's happening in and around our borough and New York City. Coming up, we'll discuss how one program is providing nutritious food choices. Then we'll talk about a network providing Bronx Community College students with entrepreneurial endeavors. Later, we'll learn about Fresh Direct's top 5 food trends for 2023. We'll give you more details later on in the show. And then finally, we'll talk about the importance of Red Cross emergency preparedness programs for adults as well as youth. So stay tuned because all this and much more is heading your way because now we're officially open. And hello, everyone. I'm Darren Hyme, and you are watching Open, a live program that brings the Bronx and New York City straight to you. We also want to welcome our viewers to Manhattan Neighborhood Network as Open is being broadcast simultaneously on MNN's channel. Now, you can stay connected to us on all of our social media platforms at BronxNet TV, and we hope that you do that. Well, some things have been going on through the past week. We'll take you through it with some Bronx updates. And we start off with city news. A 15,000 square foot space is seeking to open a Black and worker-owned knit factory at the Peninsula in Hunts Point. Our BronxNet reporter Sanji Lopez has the details.
This 15,000 square foot space is empty now, but soon it'll be home to a Black-owned and worker-owned knit factory, Katy, New York.
I was a former dancer, and we started making dancewear. That was our, and it still is. That was our original mission. And I wanted to build a new state-of-the-art manufacturing facility, which is what we're doing here in Hunts Point.
This wouldn't be the first time Katy, New York operated in the Bronx. The business opened a factory in the borough back in 1987. This new factory will be located at the Peninsula, a new development atop the former grounds of Spofford Avenue Juvenile Center in Hunts Point. Co-owner David Lee hopes this will bring a new era of development without displacement, environmental sustainability, and community wealth building.
I felt very strongly about community ownership, having a stake in the community, having a real place in the Bronx. We've been in the Bronx for over 40 years, and I thought that part of it was important. So as far as the employee ownership, that's always been a major part that was important to me.
They're going to do is they're going to bring worker equity, so workers will own part of the business. And so, of course, there's an economic component. If the business does well, the workers who are also owners do well. But there's also a social component around democratizing the workplace. These workers can design their schedules. They can design important parts of their work around what they do and around their experience. So it's also bringing in what we call inclusive economic development to the borough.
Here I get access to media, access to an incredibly coherent, together workforce. I get access to customers. I get access to talent all over New York City. Here in Hunts Point, that's what I'm going to get, and that's what I wanted to. That's what I wanted to build and see, flourish.
The garments at Katy, New York will be made of vegetable cashmere, a plant-based fabric composed of soy protein. We asked David what inspired this idea and about the process.
I've been a vegetarian or a vegan most of my life. And I started doing some research. We were knitting quite a bit in cashmere. And I started doing research on the sustainability of cashmere about 10 years ago. And I saw that this is not really a sustainable direction. And I started thinking, well, why don't you think about an alternative? What would happen? What it would look like if we were the leader in upcycling plant-based waste into new fibers. And if all of that happened in Hunts Point and here in the Bronx. And that's kind of what we plan to build here in this location, in addition to advanced manufacturing and making this the home base for KD.
So there's a social good from thinking about sustainability in fashion, but there's also a workforce and an economic development component around bringing those type of jobs. So when that type of manufacturing comes back to a place like the Bronx, it is our responsibility to support it and also to think about amplifying it.
KD New York seeks to provide up to 92 jobs by the year 2024, operating on a worker-owned model. They hope to become a leader in upcycling plant-based waste into new fibers locally here in the Bronx. Reporting for BronxNet, Sanji Lopez.
And thank you, Sanji. In other news, Montefiore Melodies hosts a group session for stroke recovering patients to help improve speech by singing holiday hits. Our BronxNet reporter, Carrie Moody, has the story.
We are here at Montefiore's Moses campus. We are joining Montefiore Medleys. This singing group uses the technique of singing to help patients recover from strokes and other neurological disorders.
We're here today to celebrate the holidays, of course, and bring together some of our patients who have suffered neurological insults in the hope of singing together as a group, as a choir, to improve their expressive language and their communication.
Ricardo is a resident for physical medicine rehab who was a doctor in Colombia for 8 years. But here's a little fun fact. He is also a trained opera singer.
I really enjoy singing, so one of the main objectives that I have in residency is to pursue performing arts medicine, which is just how we help artists and singers and dancers in a way of rehabilitation.
We was fortunate enough to speak to a patient and survivor of a stroke. Dwight gives other survivors some encouraging words.
Be patient. Do not be bothered about other people, be patient and you will find your way around.
To find out how you can join and be a help to a stroke survivor, visit www.montefiore.org and click on Newsroom to find out how and when you can sign up for these singing sessions. For BronxNet, this is Kyrie Moody.
And thank you, Carrie. That's all the time we have for our Bronx updates. We are taking a quick break, but we'll have more open when we return.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is me? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes, look at that. You even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you have to get it trending. Right, Backpack Kid?
Let's do it.
First, invite your kid to do the vape talk. Let's try this. All right.
Why is he here?
Yeah, I gotta get it trending, honey.
Come on.
To the left. To the right. Let's go.
Oh, honey, can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
I see a lot of your friends vaping.
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
You can now watch MNN, Brick TV, QPTV, and SIC TV on BronxNet. Tune in to BX Omni, Channel 67 Optimum, 2133 Fios during most Sunday evenings. We'll show you some amazing content from our friends at Manhattan Neighborhood Network, Brick TV in Brooklyn, Queens Public Television, and Staten Island Community Television. Every borough represented in the Boogie Down. Epic partnerships for the ages. And catch our new Next channel, produced in partnership with MNN, 24/7 on BronxNet Channel 952 Optimum and 2138 Fios.
Hey, boss. Okay.
I said I'm fine.
Put me to bed, see you in the morning. With the frosted Superman, but it wasn't on it. And we lost it.
You can talk to me.
It's been really, really hard for me.
And we are back. Food insecurity is a huge problem across New York City, and Common Pantry is a not-for-profit group that's aimed to reduce hunger and food insecurity through an array of programs functioning to establish long-term independence for those that they serve. Joining us and sharing more details, we are pleased to have the intake manager for the Nourish program at New York Common Pantry, Juana Lino, and we thank you so much, Juana, for being with us. And I got to ask the question about where we are today, because as we know, coming out of COVID, I know that things further were exacerbated in the area of food insecurity. And for a person such as yourself, who has boots on the ground, give me your assessment on food insecurity as you see it here in New York.
Yes, as you mentioned, thank you for having me on your show. So as you mentioned, the Bronx has been particularly affected by, food insecurity. More than 20% of older residents, 60 and older, 1 in 5 are food insecure. The team and also my office has been working to provide them with supplemental food packages on a monthly basis.
And when we talk about providing, obviously your job has been quite challenging, knowing that the numbers are continuing to rise. As you look at what you're doing right now with the Common Pantry, how does it work? Do people, give us the rundown as to how you are actually able to service people?
Yes, so Nourish is a commodity supplemental food program that is it's a government program, and so the seniors have to meet requirements to be eligible for the program. Of course, it's age 60 years and older. They have to meet an income requirement. A household of 1 cannot make more than 1,473. A household of 2 cannot make more than 1,984. And they must also reside in New York State. So they register for the program and they pick up once a month. They receive shelf-stable food, which consists of canned vegetable, fruits, shelf-stable milk, their cereal. They get a juice. The only thing that needs to be refrigerated is the cheese.
When I look at your numbers here, I know that you had a goal of providing close to 15,000, but you actually served an average of 17,000, close to 18,000 people a month. What can we take away from this?
What we can take away is that there's definitely a need in the community. We are serving as many seniors as we can. And the goal is to continue to be the boots on the ground to serve in the Bronx. We're in Manhattan, in Brooklyn, and also in Westchester County. The service is available, and we're here to continue to serve.
Yeah. And you also have a new service site. I want you to share with our viewers a little bit about that.
Yes, so our office has relocated from 138. We are now we're now at 788 Southern Boulevard. We're on the ground floor, is ADA accessible. We have a spacious waiting area for seniors to come in and wait and to get served. We have a larger pantry space that accommodates the large caseload that we have been seeing. We're open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Wednesdays, we are open from 8 to 5, and we are open 1 Saturday a month, and it's usually the second Saturday of the month.
As I look right now, I know that there's the homeless population that's being served. We know that the unemployed are being served. We know that the underemployed are actually being served. But as we look at the economy right now, inflation seems to continue to play a major part in dealing with food insecurity. From your perspective, give us the correlation between how inflation has actually caused more in this area of food insecurity.
Unfortunately, the Bronx is an underserved borough. and it's been for many years. Elected officials have, stepped up to, assist in the need and the demand for, providing additional services. New York Common Pantry has provided additional services as well for people who are not eligible for our program. Because it is a senior program, we do have other outlets. Our Choice Pantry in the Bronx, which is 1290 Holt Avenue, that provides food to the community, in addition to Choice Pantry Manhattan, that caters to people that come from Brooklyn and also Queens because of, the need.
And the need is definitely out there, and I want to, congratulate you for the work that you do in terms of making sure that people are being fed and taken care of during a time such as this. And so, as we talk about the people, can you give me a little insight into pantries? Because knowing that there's so many people out there that stand in need, how are the pantries being stabilized during a time like this?
How we we have great people behind the scenes who are helping with, collecting donations. And also, there's always a need in the pantries for additional food. And there, you can go onto our website and donate there, New York Common Pantry. The donations are welcome. So please provide. We've seen a growing need in all of our pantries, not just the Nourish program, but also the Choice Pantry and all pantries throughout the communities.
Yeah. Well, we know there's so many things that you're actually having to contend with. We talked about inflation, food, unemployment. We're still coming out of COVID. A lot of people still have not yet turned the corner yet. But do you see a sense of things slowing down, or do you see more of it like it ramping up?
We're definitely seeing a lot more. We're enrolling a lot more participants into the program. We did bring, we have participants who've come from our old location who have come to the new office, but we do have new participants that have enrolled in the program because they have mentioned that unfortunately they're unable to, their monthly income does not allow them to make any additional purchases outside of, their strict, the monies that they receive on a monthly basis. It's not stretching for them to get anything else. So the pantry has allowed them, and they're very thankful when they come to receive their monthly packages.
Wow. Well, I want to make sure that people have an opportunity to connect with you. What's the best way they can connect with you in terms of helping to support and or volunteer?
To volunteer and also to support, like I mentioned there, they can go onto our website, newyorkcommonpantry.org. We do have a volunteer tab where they can sign up. If not, they can complete probably like a little survey and someone will get back to them. And as far as donations, they can also go onto the website and donate.
And as again, I close by looking at some of these numbers, and I really, am astounded by the fact that it says that what you've done so far, feeding 4,372,691 persons so far in 1 year, and that's right here in New York City. That number is, while it's a great number in terms of you're able to reach so many people, it's also a sad number because there's so many people that we think about that really stand in the need. And so I want to salute you for what you do, Juana, and the work that's going on up at the Nourish program at the New York Common Pantry. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
All righty. Juana Lino, our guest here, and yes, we said, if you can help out, do that. And if you want more information, please, you can get it. Visit their website at newyorkcommonpantry.org, and then follow them on social media at New York Common Pantry. We encourage you don't go anywhere. We'll have more open coming up right after this.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
STEM is everywhere, like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
You're not going to get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff, like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
And welcome back. The Blackstone Launchpad Network helps students and alumni at Bronx Community College gain entrepreneurial experiences and competencies to build successful companies and careers by equipping them with the resources and opportunities to support innovation, entrepreneurial endeavors, as well as career ambitions. We're pleased to have with us right now to give us some more details the Vice President of Advancement and Communications and External Relations at Bronx Community College, Dr. Eddie Bayardell. We've also got Program Coordinator at BCC Blackstone Launchpad, Elena Diaz, and then Bronx Community College's Medical Lab Technician, Jennifer Arteta. And we thank you so much for being with us all. And Eddie, I'll start off with you. A great program, an opportunity for people to really tap into the entrepreneurial endeavors. And for you at BCC, talk to us about how this program is really, from your perspective, making a difference.
Well, thank you again. Thank you for having us. Thank you on behalf of President Sekonek B and the entire campus community. Last year, we received a $500,000 grant from the Blackstone Charitable Foundation. The goal is to spur innovation, creativity, and help students develop an entrepreneurial mindset. That program is open to any student. Doesn't matter if you're a history major or a business major or an English major. The idea is that we introduce them to business, nonprofit, and government leaders who can help them get the skills they need to take their ideas to market. They mentor and coach students. They help them appreciate the power of ideas and the power of relationships. And they help them develop their professional network. This is a program, frankly, that it doesn't matter what we end up doing. They can open a business. Small business is really the backbone of the economy. They can create a nonprofit to solve a social problem or work on Wall Street. Innovation, creativity, and skills will help them move up the career ladder wherever they go.
Yeah. Elena, let me bring you in and talk a little bit about the program. You're the program coordinator. How does the program function for those who are participating?
Yeah, so Blackstone has several signature programs that they offer, but at a campus level, and I'll let Jennifer talk a little bit more about the signature programs that she's participated in. But at a campus level, for students, we really are open to anybody. It doesn't matter, as VP Bayardell was saying, what your major is. we're open to everyone. We've offered several workshops this semester just to get that spirit of entrepreneurial thinking going on campus. So we've invited in several guest speakers for the students to come and really engage in conversation about what is it like to be an entrepreneur. We kicked off the school year with a phenomenal guest speaker came in. His name is Max Ringelheim. He was talking about, yes, you hear about entrepreneurship, but let me tell you about a wild ride that you go on when you choose to be an entrepreneur, and really got students excited about one of our signature programs, the Ideas Competition that we hosted on campus. Then we've hosted workshops about how entrepreneurs create the ideas that they come up with. And really giving prompts for students that, okay, I want to get into this innovative space. How can I become a part of this? And opening up conversations for students in that way. Giving a prompt. We noticed that was something that a lot of students, they want to be involved in something, but they don't necessarily have the idea quite yet. So we spent a lot of this semester really working on bringing in guest speakers to get students in that entrepreneurial mindset thinking. Hosted workshops that had to do with the entrepreneurial mindset, not necessarily if you want to be an entrepreneur, but to take with you in any career path that you choose. Tools such as how to navigate your mindset. We all encounter tricky situations, whether we are an entrepreneur or in our career field. And then lastly, bringing in speakers that told their stories that came from the same neighborhoods that many of these students came from. And it just gives each of our participants an opportunity to engage with one another in like-minded conversations. And then from the career component, we have offered career readiness training, such as workshops like LinkedIn. So there's something for everyone, whether you want to be an entrepreneur or just in the space.
Hey, Jennifer, let's talk about you for a moment. You're a medical lab technician, but also you're a person that's participated in the program. What was it that drove you to say that you wanted to do this, given the fact that you're a medical lab technician?
So basically, I started my business back in 2018, and I had an email sent to me through my Bronx Care or my Bronx Community College email, and it was an ideas competition, and I was like, well, all right, I have a business, it's an idea. Let me just see what this is about, and let me see if I actually could win. So, I was in school for medical lab technician, but my passion was animals and my passion is my business. So I went for it, and I ended up winning the first round, and it was to my surprise and my shock that I actually won with my idea. And so after that, I went for the second round, and unfortunately I didn't win, but I had the opportunity to meet mentors, to meet Eddie, to meet Alana, to travel to California for the kids competition, and it's been, great. It was all just from an email and from actually competing that one time in the ideas competition. It's been great. It's been fortifying. It's been keeping me busy, and I enjoy it.
Yeah, Eddie, I want to bring it back because as we talk about this, students have the opportunity to pitch their ideas. There was an ideas competition that you had this fall. When you get to the ideas competition, share with us how competitive is it and what students were in for?
Well, I'm glad you asked that. It is competitive, but it's also something that it demonstrates the value of good ideas, of having ideas, and that's what we want to cultivate with them. What we also talk about in this program is the incentives that are involved. You are actually, each of the winners, we had four categories of competitions. Each winner wins $1,000 from the Blackstone Foundation. And they have an opportunity to go on to the next level, which is a national level, where they can win $10,000. So it's a program really that tells students, listen, continue to cultivate your ideas, get the skills that you need to take them to market, connect with people. Relationships, as we know, regardless what we do in life, are extremely important. So develop your network, and it's something that's for all of our students, and regardless of what I end up doing in life.
So for a student that wants to participate in this, what is required of them? What are the specifics?
Well, it's basically applying it. We put it out. We put the workshops out. They can come and sit in. They can listen to the recording. They can interact with our speakers. It's not a requirement. It's not a mandate. It's something that we say, if you want to pursue this entrepreneurship career, then it's for you. Put in the time, and you'll learn as much as you want.
And Jennifer, for you, obviously the experience was very good. Talk to us about what was your greatest takeaway out of this so far?
My greatest takeaway was definitely meeting other entrepreneurs and seeing all the struggles that they go through that are very similar to mine. So it doesn't make me feel alone in the struggles. And it's like I said, it's been very fortifying. Be an entrepreneur, you need a lot of dedication, discipline, and gut, and knowing that you want this is what you want, and you'll do anything to get it. So it's been great meeting other entrepreneurs, meeting other mentors, meeting other coordinators from other campuses through Blackstone. It's been amazing. I would literally say like good things come true for me. To be in the same room with even the CEO of Headspace, and like other young 30-year-olds and younger, CEOs and entrepreneurs that, have made a fortune for themselves from being so young. It's very inspiring, and it's just motivating, really. So I think that's a lot of the takeaways.
Yeah. Well, congratulations on the great work that you're doing, Jennifer. Also want to thank Elena and Eddie for being with us here, talking about this innovative program that really helps people to move in the area of entrepreneurship and test their ideas and their skills and making a dream possibly a reality. So thank you all for joining us, and I'm glad to have you.
Thank you again. Appreciate the time.
Thank you for having us.
No worries. Thank you. Well, for more information, you can visit their website at bcc.cuny.edu, and then also follow them on Twitter and Instagram at bcccuny. We say don't go anywhere. We got more show. Open does continue coming up right after this.
Man, it's lonely. Like, going through life lonely.
There is the therapeutic aspect of music, just expressing how you feel. I'm going to talk to Howie about his feelings, make it into a song.
It's time.
Pasta and time for dinner.
Oh, it's really those.
Pasta dinner.
Donating pet food is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
And welcome back. Are you hungry and maybe need to go shopping? Well, Fresh Direct announced its top food trend picks For 2023, the online grocer's delivering a taste of the latest industry influences to its customer interests. And we've got with us the freezer category merchant at Fresh Direct, Gabriela Diaz. And Gabriela, good to have you. Welcome
Good
back.
to be here.
Yes,
Thank you.
it's that time of the year. And as I started off talking about, shopping, and people are online and people are looking to see about what's the best thing to do in terms of making food purchases. I know at Fresh Direct, you've got some food trends.
Yes, we do. So we're really excited to have put together a list of our top 5 trends for 2023, which is just around the corner. So our top 5 trends for this upcoming year are DIY. We've seen that kind of really start this year, and we expect that will continue to grow into next year. Nostalgia, we've been seeing a lot of really fun brands that I had in my childhood, and many of us will recognize as coming back. Lots of love for local products and brands. Us New Yorkers really want to support all the locals around us. A lot of conscious and caring consumers. So we really are thinking about the brands that we carry, and our customers really care about that as well. And private label. Those are 5 trends for next year.
And so when we think about your customer base and you see where we were in 2022, looking at 2023 with the food trends, which one sticks out to you the most?
Yeah, so for me, it's the nostalgia. So we've seen a lot of influence from social media to think about maybe old brands, so things like Ring Dings, which I definitely had a lot as a kid, and even things like espresso martinis. Those have really come back into fashion this past year in restaurants, and we really do see a correlation between what people are eating when they're dining out to then what they enjoy at home. So that's been really fun for me to get to experience.
And when I think about private labels, I'm one that gravitates to them. I know that I sometimes can find myself looking at private labels, but more and more people seem to be doing that. They're looking at private labels, and you've noticed that trend as well.
For sure. For those of you that don't know, private labels are brands that are created by the supermarket. So we have a couple private labels. I would love to talk about Nature's Promise, which we launched about a year and a half ago at this point. And we're really excited about it because we get to offer a really amazing product at a really great price point. So as we think about how we can better serve our customers and how we can help them enjoy making all of these great meals at home in the upcoming year, this is a great way for us to be able to provide that to our customers.
And your customers are taking a look at some do-it-yourself meals because, listen, everybody doesn't want to cook, want to get it done as fast as it can possible. So do-it-yourself taking a big increase this year as well.
That it definitely has. This has been the year of butter boards, which we've seen on TikTok all over, and it's really fun for customers to be able to make new meals at home and be able to make really fun things that aren't so challenging and can make all meal times really fun and easy. So there are a lot of really great brands that have helped us to be able to offer that to our customers.
And local products are always an attraction as well. People seem to be going in that direction as well, buying more locally, particularly after COVID. A lot of people were really focusing in this area. What were you able to uncover?
Yeah, so Fresh Direct has always been really committed to sourcing from local vendors and brands, and it's something that we care deeply about within our entire organization, and our customers definitely feel the same way. So actually this past year, Fresh Direct has been doing these sourced videos, which I would highly recommend checking out, where we've been able to highlight some of these really great relationships like Hepworth Farms, which is a local women-owned, sister-owned farm in upstate New York in Hudson Valley, where we're able to offer really great produce that's just a couple hours drive away right here in New York.
And as I look and I think about the holidays right now, are you finding the traffic is just there? I mean, I'm talking to some guests earlier about just, where we are in this present day. Talk to me about what you're seeing right now by way of traffic. Are more and more people hitting the website, getting food?
Well, I don't have specific data to share on the number of customers hitting the website, but we are seeing that our customers really are including Fresh Direct as their key partner for having really great meals for the holidays and really stocking up for products. So we get to support a really great brand in the freezer that I love called Adirondack Creamery, where we have a really great peppermint ice cream for the holidays. And then we really expect that in the new year, our customers will be really excited to restock their fridges and be ready for a new year with us.
Well, you talked about it. I'm going to talk about it right now. The new year. Everybody's looking towards 2023 as that year, looking to see some fresh and innovative ideas. And can you give us a little behind the scenes is what Fresh Direct is thinking about, possibly as we get ready to go into 2023?
Well, really, we've been focused on 2023 with our trends. So when we think about all of our trends, we started brainstorming these really in the middle of 2022. And 2023 is about understanding, are customers really gravitating towards these, and do we need to change them in any way? So it will be really interesting for us to keep an eye on that in the new year and see how many of our customers are really continuing to do it yourself and continuing to support so many local and caring and conscious brands. So we will spend the next year just understanding what our customers want and how to best support them.
What really stuck out for you this year? Because this year has been quite the year for local businesses and organizations. What's been the stick out for you?
Yeah, so one of the brands that I love a lot here at Fresh Direct is White Mustache. They make handmade yogurt actually right here nearby in Brooklyn. And to be able for us to support a brand like that, which is a more specialty brand, but our customers really love, and we're able to really understand that they want a brand that is conscious and caring and provides a really amazing product. It's been really fun for me to watch them continue to grow and for our customers to continue to support them.
Yeah. I want you to just share a little bit more, Gabrielle, about the novelty treats because, you know, a lot of people are into novelties. So as you notice this trend, talk to us about the novelty treats before we go.
Yeah, so for the nostalgia, we have seen a lot of things like the Drake's Ring Dings or even apple martinis or espresso martinis. And it's been really fun for us to explore those a little more. We will have more coming live on our website in the coming months, which we'll be really excited for you all to see very soon. But it has been really fun for us to see that as a general trend and for a lot of brands to be able to bring forward new versions of it too. So we have a brand in the freezer called Chubby Snacks, which is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that's frozen, but it's actually made with almond butter and chia seed jam and whole wheat bread. So it's been really fun to think about these brands that have been so special to us, for me growing up, that have a reinvention of themselves to a healthier and better for you way.
Well, Gabrielle, I want to thank you for being with us. She is the freezer category merchant for Fresh Direct, and talking about those top trends for 2023. We'll be taking a look at Fresh Direct and taking a look at seeing what New Yorkers are really gravitating towards. Thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
All righty. Well, I want to let you know, for more information, what do? Go to their website at freshdirect.com. You can find out about the trends and find some interesting things to bring home and put on your refrigerator. All right, don't go anywhere. We've got more Open coming up right after this.
How do you know when you've made the right decision? It's the feeling you get in your gut, the one that tells you what's right or wrong. It's the one that says, sure, I can have a drink, or the feeling that says, okay, I've been drinking, now what? It's the voice inside you that says, I'm buzzed, better leave the car when it's time to go. Plan ahead, catch a sober ride. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
You're not gonna get it all right. Just make sure you nail the big stuff.
Mama!
Like making sure your kids are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/therightseat.
Thank you so much.
Fostering a pet for a friend or neighbor can keep families together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
You can talk to me if you're feeling sad.
Thanks for hearing me out, bro.
Whenever you need to talk, I'm here, okay?
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
And welcome back. The American Red Cross of Greater New York serves more than 12 million people in New York City. Now, the organization responds to emergencies such as disasters and fires, floods and building collapses, providing food, shelter, clothing, and emotional support at no cost to those who are in need. We're pleased to have with us the communications officer at American Red Cross Greater New York, Michael D. Volpierre, who is with us. And Michael, good to have you.
Good to be on. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
Yeah, I want to thank you for what you're doing with the Red Cross. I mean, obviously, you guys, when you're first introduced, and many times it's at life's challenging moments, disasters, and the Red Cross seems to be one of those organizations that really can give some support, emotional, and then also some tangible support to those who are most in need.
Yeah, so I mean, people, like as you mentioned, people encounter the American Red Cross often at the worst moment in their lives, whether it's a terrible fire, building collapse, other local emergencies. The American Red Cross is there. They're there to help people get through some of those really, really challenging moments, anxiety, loss. Our volunteers are there 24/7 for New Yorkers and for Americans across the country.
It's almost like you have to, watch the news, and at the same time watch the news, also watch the calendar, forecasting possibly what a possible disaster could look like, whether that's flood, rain, inclement weather, all of those things, not even to mention the natural disasters that hit. How do you go about preparation?
Yeah, so we prepare all year round for disasters large and small that might occur across our region, across the country. We are working really closely with emergency management, with our partners across the city, as it relates to local disasters. So we are aware whenever those disasters occur, we're looped into the emergency management system. We get those notifications, and so we're preparing. We're preparing our volunteers. We're preparing our staff. We know that the disasters occur all year round in the city, in the Bronx. Bronx is one of our busiest boroughs, so we are ready with our teams and staff and supplies. There are some times a year where we face different risks. The winter time is a period where we see a spike in home fires. So we are mobilizing when the weather gets cooler. We are mobilizing our staff and volunteers so that they're ready, so that we have a shored up support, additional support in the event of larger and more frequent fires that unfortunately we see during the winter months. But we're getting ready all year round. It's just that communication, coordination, not only with our staff, but then with all our emergency partners, working so that we can address those immediate needs that might occur.
You talk about getting yourself ready, but you also do a good job of trying to get the public ready through emergency preparedness, having them knowing what to have in the house in case of emergency, how to react in case of emergency. How has emergency preparedness really helped New Yorkers in the way that when disaster strikes, people are prepared?
Yeah, so like you were alluding to, disaster preparedness really starts at home. So the Red Cross has a whole host of programs that help get families aware of the risks that might occur, empowering them with that information, as well as installing free smoke alarms and other safety resources in homes. So anybody across the city who is in need of a smoke alarm can receive one from the American Red Cross. We have a program where we're installing these alarms in homes. We're talking to families about fire safety. We're installing them. We're walking them through their escape planning. What we tell people is, when it comes to a fire, you only have 2 minutes to get out of your home, so you got to prepare that. So we work with families to prepare for fires, but we also have a whole host of programs beyond fires. So we're working with adults and children to educate them about the risks that might occur in their communities, and then what are the tools, what are the resources that every family should have at home. So you want to have those supplies in the event that you have to shelter in place. Maybe there's going to be a large power outage, or if you have to evacuate at a moment's notice, you need to have certain supplies on hand. So we have all these different programs that anybody, New Yorkers, can access. You can go to redcross.org to see what those services and programs are. But it's really critical because the more prepared you, your family, your communities are, the less impact that disaster is going to have on your family. And I've, having been out to fires so frequently as part of the American Red Cross, you see how quickly these fires occur and how fast and how quickly and how much that they can disrupt lives. So it is really critical to have those supplies in place and to have that information and to talk to your families about it. And the Red Cross can help with that.
You speak a lot about the work of the Red Cross and what you guys do. But when disaster hits, we see a lot of red jackets out there, and nobody knows the difference. Sometimes you got staff and then you've got volunteers. Talk to us about how volunteers have really made it to the front lines and assisted you in the work.
Of course. Well, so the Red Cross, the American Red Cross, and actually the Red Cross around the world is a volunteer organization. I'm an employee, but we have more than 90% there are more than 90% of my colleagues who are volunteers. These are people who would give of their time to help others. And we encourage more New Yorkers, more Bronx residents, more Americans to join us and to help their neighbors respond and cope and, really put a comforting presence around those folks who've been affected by these disasters. And it's very meaningful work. I've spent a lot of time with volunteers. I was just in the Bronx a couple days ago with some volunteers who were responding to a single family home fire. Folks come into the office or they're on call at home. When those disasters occur, when that notification occurs, they hop into a car and they go to that disaster to help people out. And it's really neighbors helping neighbors. And often those volunteers raise their hand to help out when there's a larger disaster outside our region. We had Bronx residents respond to some of the major disasters that have occurred outside our city. So that the terrible flooding in Kentucky, the hurricane in Puerto Rico, and of course that awful hurricane that hit the Gulf Coast, Hurricane Ian. So there were Bronx residents down there, and there are Bronx residents down there right now helping out in a whole host of different ways.
Take a look at some of the numbers. The Red Cross has helped more than 8,100 people affected by nearly 1,900 local emergencies like fires, particularly in the borough of the Bronx. It's helped more than 2,500 people affected by 466 local emergencies. And I guess you could say the Bronx does get its fair share of calls.
Yeah, so the Bronx has been, it started off with that tragic fire in the Bronx in the beginning of the year that saw all those fatalities. The Red Cross was there helping. So we've been there after the big fires. We've been there after the smaller fires. But it's really, for that one family that's been affected, it's not a small fire. It's not a small incident. There's actually been a spike when you compare this year with last year in the number of fires or the number of disaster responses for the Red Cross in the Bronx. There's been a spike citywide, a little bit of a spike citywide, but the increase in incidents that we've responded to is more significant. It's about 13% more, and that's counting for the entire year. We're not even all the way through the year when you compare it to 2021. After each of those fires, the Red Cross teams are on the scene, sometimes in the middle of the night, helping people who've been forced from their homes, suffered, really terrible loss. It could be loss of property, the death of a pet, the loss of a loved one. We're there to help provide that tangible support, emergency relief in terms of financial assistance, a place to stay, but also that arm around those people, that comforting presence, and that guidance to help walk them through the next steps. What are they going to do? And that we know, this process because that's what we do 24/7. But those people who've been forced from their homes in the middle of the night, they don't know what to do. And we're there to guide them through that process. And it means a lot to us.
It's unfortunate that many times the first interaction that people will have with you is when disaster hits. But I do know that you try to make that not the case. And when you spoke earlier about fires, I want to go back because you also help with fire alarms for general population. Give us how you can, if anybody's out there watching, saying, listen, assistance with fire alarms, installing them. This is something that the Red Cross does.
Yeah, so because we see the impact that these fires have on a day-to-day basis, we know that impact, but we want to minimize that impact. We want to decrease fire deaths. We want there to be no fire deaths, and a working smoke alarm will will double your chances of surviving a fire. So that's why we've instituted, in partnership with FDNY, the FDNY Foundation, a program to install free smoke alarms in any home that needs it. So we will go, if you go to redcross.org, you can find out how, it's actually, there's a better site, it's soundthealarm.org/NYC. You can also call 877-RED Cross and select option 5, and you can schedule an appointment for a Red Cross team to visit your home with smoke alarms. They're not only going to install those alarms in the places in the home that need it, they're also going to test the alarms. So sometimes people have smoke alarms in their home, and they think they work, and Red Cross will come in there and we'll see that it's not functioning. It's quite old. So Red Cross will go into homes, install the alarms for folks. We'll test the alarms. And then we're also going to talk to families. We're going to walk them through the different fire risks that they may have and help them escape we'll walk them through what escape planning looks like. And we do this every single day. We have a dedicated team of volunteers that do that. And often after a terrible fatal fire like we saw in the Bronx early in the year, and like we've seen throughout the year, we'll go in after that to bring those resources in right after that fire, while the community has that fire and has that incident top of mind. So we do this. Anybody can access it. All they have to do, again, go to soundthealarm.org/NYC or 877-RED Cross. Select option 5, and that's how they can get that smoke alarm, which are really critical to help saving lives.
Can't let you go without asking this final question. As we approach the holidays, are there anything in particular that we should be paying attention to?
Yes. Well, as I mentioned earlier, the end of year, the colder months, the winter months, are a time where we see a spike in home fires. The weather is getting quite colder. We are seeing a spike right now. And also we want people to be particularly fire safe as it relates to their holiday decorations. So anything with candles, Christmas trees, anything like that, you just want to be particularly careful. We do not want to see any kind of tragedies or any kind of fires as a result of holiday decorations. So we just want people to be as careful as possible. And we also encourage people to support the Red Cross. Anybody can become a volunteer, redcross.org. And we also rely on financial donations. So anybody who wants to support our work, they can visit redcross.org and find out. That's how we are able to help those people every single day, is through the donations and volunteers. So that's what we encourage people to visit redcross.org.
Yeah, Michael D. Vaupierre, thank you so much for being with us. A lot of helpful information, and hopefully people will take that and keep that for the holidays and even into 2023. Thanks a lot, Michael.
Thank you so much.
All righty. Well, once again, I want to reiterate the information that you heard. Now, if you want to find out more, please visit the website for the Red Cross. That is redcross.org. And then also follow them on social media at RedCrossNY. Well, I'm coming to the end of our show today. I was going to say, unfortunately, it is unfortunate. We come to the end of our show today. I want to thank all of our guests for joining us, and most of all, you, the viewer, for tuning in. Now, if you missed any part of today's show, you can catch the Cablecast on Optimus Channel 67, Verizon Files Channel 2133, or anytime on the web at bronxnet.org. Also, you can catch a brand new episode of Open with my girl, Rena Valentine, on Friday. And this about wraps it up for this episode of Open. I am Darren Jaime saying thank you, and make sure to keep this channel wide open. Say take care. God bless.